Pinball's Prickles Part 1. It was a lovely sunny Sunday day, not very long ago, and the sun came out and said, "I will stay out all day and I'm not going to go behind a cloud and you can go and have a picnic." So Mummy and Daddy said, "Let's go and have a picnic. Let's take Katelyn and Sophie and go to the paddock next to the big Kauri forest." So that's what they did. Daddy went and got the car ready while Mummy, Katelyn and Sophie got the picnic basket ready. Katelyn went to the fridge and got some chicken, hard-boiled eggs, mashed potatoes and chocolate chippy biscuits and cheese, while Sophie went and got some lettuce and radishes from the garden. She also got a loaf of bread so that she could feed the birds in the forest, and they could have a picnic too. They all jumped into the car and went to the Kauri forest. It didn't take them very long because it wasn't very far away. When they got there, Mummy took a rug from the back of the car and put it on the grass. Katelyn said, "Can I take Sophie for a walk along the track that goes through the Kauri forest?" Daddy said, "That will be okay if you're very careful not to get lost and that you stay on the path." Katelyn said, "We will." And both her and Sophie put some bread, cheese, chocolate chippy biscuits in their pockets and off they went singing a little song. When they got to the start of the track in the Kauri forest, Katelyn held Sophie's hand and they skipped and jumped over puddles. They did some running and they did some walking, but then suddenly Katelyn tripped over a rock and went splash into a puddle and got her dirty face. Sophie laughed and laughed. "Ha ha ha," she said, "you've got a dirty face now." Katelyn wasn't at all happy, but she got up and wiped her face on a t-shirt, which made her face all clean, but it meant that Mummy had to clean a t-shirt when she got home. "What did you trip over?" said Sophie. Katelyn turned around and saw a funny-shaped rock. Just as she pointed to the rock got little legs and a little piggy nose and ran towards her. The rock said, "Why did you trip over me?" "Who's that?" said Katelyn. "I said that. It's me. It came from me. Don't you see?" said the little rock. "And I'm actually not a rock. I'm a hedgehog." "Oh, I'm very sorry. I never recognized you," said Katelyn. "I never saw you because you didn't have any prickles. And what's your name?" "My name is Pinball, but I don't like that name and I want to be called Spiky. That's really my proper name. But I can't because I have no prickles." "Have you tried holding your nose and pushing really, really hard?" said Katelyn. "Of course I have," said Pinball, "but it doesn't work. Watch." So he held his nose and pushed really, really hard, but all that happened was a little squeak that came from behind him, and his face went very red. "Oh dear, that's not nice," said Sophie. "Maybe we can help you try something else that will work to make your prickles come back." "Why have you lost your prickles?" said Katelyn. "I lost them because the bad witch called Hooknose, who lives in Australia and eats live snakes, cast a spell on me. She flies over here on her broomstick when there is a west wind and casts spells on hedgehogs and all sorts of other things. She said my prickles will never come back unless I find the magic spell to make them come back, and I don't know where to go to find the magic spell." "I wonder what we can do about this," says Katelyn. "Let's sit down and really think about this really hard." So they sat down on a thinking log to think. Sophie took out some chocolate chippy biscuits and some bread and cheese. "This'll help us make us think," she said. Katelyn, Sophie and Pinball sat on the thinking log and they thought and they thought and they thought and they thought again and did some more thoughting. And Katelyn came up with a poem. "I like to sit upon a log and sit right here with my hedgehog. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I even read a book, sometimes I even like to cook. But sit upon a log seems right. I don't fall off and get a fright. I'll sit right here with my hedgehog and think while on this log. Just then they heard a That sounds like a frog in somebody's throat.
No, it doesn't. I haven't got a frog in my throat. I am a frog, you silly Willy. And I'm a frog and you are sitting on my log. But I have an idea I'd like to share, he said.
That's a rhyme. Do you talk in rhymes, said Sophie.
Yes, I do, because I'm a rhyming frog, and I come from this wet big bog that's right behind the thinking log. Your poem woke me up, but really that's a piece of luck, because I have a great idea that I am sure you'd like to hear.
That is wonderful, said Katelyn, because we've been sitting on this log eating chocolate chippy biscuits and thinking really hard, and we haven't come up with how we might help Pinball get his prickles back yet. So what's your idea?
Well, I know a frog who knows a frog who knows a frog who owns this log, who knows the answer to the riddle, and I am not talking any dribble.
With that, the little green tree frog disappeared into the trees. Where's he gone? Said Katelyn. I think he's gone to find the frog who knows the frog who knows the frog who knows who owns this log and knows the answer to our riddle, said Pinball. And he was right. Before too long, the little green tree frog came back with a big green bullfrog, who had a sparkly crown on his head with big diamonds that shone in the sunshine really, really, really brightly, so bright you had to wear sunglasses to see him.
Hello, Katelyn. Hello, Sophie. Hello, Pinball, said the bullfrog with the crown on his head. I'm King Frog, and king of all the frogs that are in the bog behind this log. You can call me your majesty, because I'm majestic.
Hello, your majesty, said Katelyn. Do you have the answer to our riddle and how to get Pinball's prickles back?
I do, said the King Frog. You need to go and visit the good fairy at the colourful pink, blue and white terraces. She knows all about good spells and she'll be able to help you.
That sounds good to us, said Katelyn and Sophie together, but how do we get there?
Well, that's simple, said the King Frog. All you must do is follow this track to the end of the Kauri forest, cross the river, walk through the bubbling mud pools, then cross the lake and climb Fern Hill. There on the other side you will find the secret pink, blue and white terraces. At the bottom of the terraces you'll find the good fairy's castle. But don't forget to keep a watch out for the bush goblins that jump out from behind the bushes to scare children with their goblin song, which goes like this. Boo, I'm a goblin, I scare you. Boo, I'm a goblin, who are you? Boo, I'm a goblin, put you in a pot. Boo, I'm a goblin, full it to the top. Put in a carrot, put in a cabbage, put in some salt, give it a stir and make gill soup.
That's just stupid and silly, said Katelyn. But if we see one, what do we do?
You have to say the magic words, which are, smelly goblin, go away, don't come back another day, and poke it in the nose with a good goblin stick.
Then what happens, says Katelyn.
His pants fall down, his face goes red, and he runs away to Bare Bottom Land, and you will never see him again,
said the King Frog. But we don't have a good goblin stick, said Katelyn.
Here you are, you can use mine,
said the King Frog, passing over the goblin stick.
But don't lose it. Now off you go and be very careful, girls.
Yippee! Let's go, said the girls. And off they went with Pinball running after them as fast as they could go. Now you're just going to have to wait for part 2.